It's about protecting your energy so that your best work can actually come out. So interestingly enough, batch days do not begin on batch days. We schedule out the batch day at least a month or 2 months, sometimes 3 months in advance. You never know what you're gonna get. I might cry, I might be mad, it might be unfiltered. I'm like, I need to stop at 3:30. So like, that's my mental cutoff. Do I want to be like, yeah, let's go to 7? Yes. Is it good? No. Because you're not like, no, if I don't get this perfect, like it's supposed to go out tomorrow. Like I actually feel a little bit of weight lifted when I know that we're planning ahead, and that allows us to actually always tease the next episode. There was actually a season last year where I actually kind of dreaded content batch days like this one, where we're recording episode after episode after episode. In fact, there was one where Robert was here and I just started crying in the middle of the episode, and he was like, what is going on? And it wasn't that I didn't want to do the content. It wasn't that I don't love teaching. In fact, I actually love these days. It was that I was mentally overloaded and so dang exhausted. And so what I'm really proud of, which I'm going to be able to help you with today, is how can you have a batch day like this and actually maintain your energy and your happiness and like leave the day like, woohoo, versus, oh my God, that was so much. And so that's one of the things that I've worked really hard on. And it all comes down to your energy. So this episode is actually not going to be about content. It's about how we redesigned batch days to not prevent creativity from costing me my peace. Because I love the content. I love the creativity that goes into like really thinking about these episodes and what we want to say and how we want to say it. So I kind of just want to go behind the scenes with you and share with you, how does this day look like from start to finish? What are all the nuances? How do we make this happen? And I'm actually glad because someone on Instagram sent us a message and said, hey, I saw you like posting about batch days. What does that look like? And I was like, yeah, we just record 5 in a row or whatever. And she was like, right, but how? Like, what goes on before it, during? Like, who's doing what? How are you doing the content? And I was like, that's actually a great question. I would love to make an episode on it. So I've mapped it all out for you here, and I think it's going to be so helpful. So the way I want you to think about these batch days is batching is not about productivity. It's about protecting your energy so that your best work can actually come out. And what was happening was I was doing, gosh, I can't wait to like share all this with you. It was all these little things that I wasn't thinking about. I was like, oh, it's batch day. Okay, it's just another work day. And that is absolutely the worst way you could think about it, as just another work day. And I'll explain. And by the end of this episode, you'll be like, oh, I see how they're doing it this way. And no one actually taught me this. This is just one of those things, you know how you can like learn by watching someone else and like learn from their lessons, or you can just learn by doing. So this is like the slow way that took me probably a year to figure out. So you could just like start like this, and then your batch days could go enormously well. So that's what I'm really hopeful that you're going to get out of this episode. Also, before we keep going, I want to make sure I invite you to the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. It is our live 5-day training that we do a couple times throughout the year, and it has hundreds of entrepreneurs and small business owners. So whether you have a startup, small business earning, not even 6 figures yet, or you have a multiple 6, 7, or even 8-figure business, we work with clients at all 3 tiers. So what that means for you is you and or your team can come attend this training. You'll get so much value. In fact, we actually guarantee that you'll get 10 times the value that you pay when you sign up. And then of course, we'll also share the 3 ways we can work together. So if you get so much value out of the training, you're like, yeah, those are the people we're learning ads from. Amazing. But you can also attend the 5 days, get so much value. And we actually promise that you'll get 10 times the value, and you can be like, I'm out. Thank you so much. That was life-changing. That is my goal. That's what fulfills me, is being able to help you no matter what that looks like. So that's why we do these content and podcast episodes. Like, it is to be of your benefit. Like, I ultimately get so much fulfillment. It's like a selfish thing. In fact, I'm reading this book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it talks about how selfish it is to take care of other people in the best way. It's like, God, it feels good to help someone feel good. It feels so good to be like, man, they loved that. I'm like, good. I'm so glad you love the podcast. Never pay me a dime. That's fantastic. I actually legitimately, wholeheartedly want you to win, because I know when that is my priority, everything else as a byproduct will work out. Like, I know I'm doing what God's called me to do, regardless of the outcome. And as a result, the outcome is fantastic. And so I'm just here for you. And that's how I want you to think about these batch days. Like, I want you to think about how one person is going to watch that one episode or hear that one phrase, and they're going to be riding in their car or at the gym, and they're going to go, that was freaking good. And it's going to stick with them, and it's going to change their life. And you get to do that when you create these batch content days. And you can do it even better when you take care of your energy. And I'm going to be honest, I'm one of those people, sometimes you have to prove me wrong. I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm like, you don't need to protect your energy. I'm like, just show up, be excited, get sleep, and rock and roll. It is absolutely not like that. Like, there's actually strategy. I've learned the hard way. So let me save you some time, energy, and stress. In fact, I can save you so much time, energy, and stress in that Win with Paid Ads challenge below. So get your ticket if you have not already, and let's rock and roll and start about batch days. So interestingly enough, batch days do not begin on batch days. We schedule out the batch day at least a month or 2 months, sometimes 3 months in advance. Like, my goal is in the next month to have every single batch day planned for the whole year. Number one, because it'll help me, the team, everybody. And I know that content is like a priority for me. Like, I want to just get so much out. And so the way to do that is not to do what I used to do, which was sporadically, randomly be like, ooh, I have an hour gap in between this meeting. Let me record an episode real quick. Now, granted, I'm so proud of that girl who didn't have a team and had no one but herself in a Zoom recording and like just recorded anyway. I'm so proud. She didn't even know what she's doing. She's just editing things. I'm Googling how to edit on GarageBand, like didn't have money. I'm like, I will figure this out. And I did. And the intro was cute and it worked. And you can make it pretty later. That's what I did. I think we all start out solo, not knowing what the heck we're doing. And so I'm so proud. And I've really realized that stop-start mentality on anything where it's like, have a meeting, stop. Have this, stop. It's like, I would rather just like be in the flow and go. And so that's what we're creating. So the batch days actually start the day before. Well, they start like months in advance when you put it on your the calendar. But for me, like preparing me starts the night before. So I proved it to the team today, but I got 8.5 hours of sleep last night. So I got great sleep. I had our chef prepare all of the meals. I will link to Danny. I love you, Danny. If you live local to Atlanta, Danny is amazing. So she cooks our meals for our family. She cooks fresh one night per week, and then she does our meal prep for all of my lunches because Kyle's not here, so it's just lunch for me. The kids aren't here because they're at school. So it's one lunch. Unless the team's here, she does lunch for the team, and then she has some breakfast stuff for us. So it is a life-changing. And the last thing you need to stress about on the day of a batch day is your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, my breakfast, lunch, and dinner are created, planned, and delicious and healthy. And so that being taken care of even the night before is great too, because the night before you're doing a little bit of prep for the next day and you just don't want to be stressing about food. So I got great sleep. All the food was taken care of. I had support this morning with my mom. Granted, I'm so blessed. I get the opportunity to live 9 minutes from my mom, and she's a part of the company. So she is here and helped with the kids getting out the door and making sure the environment was clean and nice. Like, she is absolutely life-changing. I just told her 10 times today how much I love her. So I had support, and then I had makeup booked. And so I did not have to worry about my makeup. My hair was already good from the previous day. And, I actually love working out. It's like part of like who I am. It's like my stress reliever. It just fills my cup so much. And so I used to, on batch days, be like, I'm going to get a mega leg workout today. And be like, let me use these 35-pound dumbbells from my bent over row, or what do you call it? Not bent over rows. Gosh, I don't know. The straight leg deadlifts. Yeah, I was doing that. And what I've found is that is effort on your body. And there's physical effort and there's mental effort. And both are effort and impact your overall body's ability to be strong and persevere and have energy and all those things. And so on batch days now, I put on my weighted vest and I walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes. It is and while I'm doing that, I'm getting some messages out of the way. Client messages, team messages. I'm multitasking. It's my walk and talk, as I call it. But that is low effort. It's still great for my body, but it doesn't take a toll on me so that I don't sit here on batch day and I crash at 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. Like, we're almost at 2 o'clock right now as I record this, and I'm feeling fantastic because I haven't overloaded my body by waking up at 5 a.m. and lifting, 70 pounds. So it's all about preserving my energy at the end of the day. So great sleep, meals, house cleaning support, makeup booked. Didn't have to think about makeup or get frustrated that I did it bad. Because the other thing is it all comes down to how you feel. I feel exponentially more confident when I am well-dressed and well-makeuped and have gotten some movement in. Like, it's a mental thing for me. So the fact that I was able to have all that knocked out today. Oh, and I journaled. That's the other thing I missed. So in the morning, I journal. And what that does is it gets all those other looming thoughts or stressors out of your brain and onto paper so those don't hang over you. It actually helps me process some things. So being able to journal, it opens up space for creativity for me because the weight of anything that I might complain about or have stressing me was on those pages this morning, and I can leave them there. So that's all the prep work before batch day. So here is what batch day usually looks like. It's normally about 9:30 to 3:30. Now today, I was a little bit behind on mapping out some of my final content for some episodes. So we actually didn't start until probably closer to 11 or a little after 11, but the team was up here getting ready. They got some great footage before what we did, some like an ad or two while we were getting ready. So that was great. But normally it's about 9:30 to 3:30. And the reason I say that is because I'm a morning person and I really shouldn't be on camera anywhere after 4 p.m. You just never know what you're going to get. I might cry. I might be mad. It might be unfiltered. I'm like, I need to stop at 3:30. So like, that's my mental cutoff. Just because I get tired, right? I'm real human. I've been self-aware. Like I'll watch a sales page video. I'm like, I must have filmed that after 3:30. I'm like, she looks aggravated and tired. I ain't buying what she's selling. So I got to really make sure that I'm protecting my energy and know when to call a spade a spade. In fact, that's actually something I talk to my team about. I'm like, I need you to be self-aware of where you are and where you are not. Do I want to be like, yeah, let's go to 7? Yes. Is it good? No. So I have to be self-aware of that. So maximize your best hours. There's some people and they are evening people, right? And so you may know you're an evening person and be like, I do not want to start until 2:00. You're like, my best stuff comes at 2:00. That's great. Do that. But really be aware of your schedule, because the worst thing you could do on a batch day is feel rushed. So like today, even though I had some stuff I was wrapping up, I was like, I told myself I refuse to feel rushed. It will be worth it when everything's mapped out and organized before I sit down to record. And so far it's gone so well, because a batch day is meant to be calm, not rushed. And it is a marathon, or it is not a marathon. It is a flow window. It's like a window where you're going to say, this is where I'm going to focus. It's not like you're going to keep going on forever. So our goal is to do anywhere from 3 to 5 podcasts per day, sometimes more depending on energy. And typically I like to do all of the same content type. So for us, there is podcast content, organic content, and ad content. And sometimes I get to double dip and use something that I know I'm going to post organically and turn it into an ad. So that's our goal, is we always start with the podcast first, and then we will go to do any ads or organic content. So really, like I said, there's podcast content, organic and ads content, and then there's sales page video content. So if I'm doing a VSL or if I'm doing a thank you page video, that's where we use the teleprompter, whereas the organic and ads are typically not teleprompter, and then neither are any of our episodes. So I don't do scripts, and that's a separate topic that I'll talk about in a minute. So some boundaries that are non-negotiable for me is I don't do any meetings. I don't do any emails, Slacks, or decision making, because again, that is weight on your brain. And so what I used to do is in between episodes, I'd be like, let me get every Slack responded to, or before, like I have probably 90 messages right now on Slack from my team, and emails. I will look at that later, and I'm okay with that. Like the thing is, there's always going to be an email or a Slack, you know? So what I do is I actually mute my notifications because I don't even want to know how behind I am. I'm like, let me focus on the task at hand. I do that on my VIP days with my clients. Like when I am all in, I'm like, these people have invested so much for these days because they're not cheap. I was like, I refuse to look at my phone at all. Like, I'm like, I told the team, I'm like, if Kyle calls, like someone needs to let me know, or the school calls. That's the only time like I will that's the only noise that will come through is a school or Kyle. Otherwise, I'm like, I am so locked in and obsessed with this person's business, because I know how good it feels when someone is locked in and obsessed with my business and me for a minute. You know, when you have that friend that like actually legitimately listens to you and you're like, I love you. I want my clients to feel like that, and they do. And so that's because I block out everything else in the world, and I treat batch days the same. I'm like, I'm going to take care of me by taking care of me and not having 99 problems that I'm dealing with in between messages. So the content day is all about preservation, not about pushing. Lighter workout, outfits select. Oh, that's the other thing is Ashlyn. She's great. She helps us she does all of our social media, but she also helps with outfits because she's extremely stylish. So that's another thing. I used to actually dread being done, getting ready for batch day. And then I walk into my closet and I'm like, I have 5 episodes and I have 5 outfits. And I would hate that. And then you're wasting 30 minutes of time. No, everything is planned in advance. And then after, here's my secret spot. So at the end of a batch day, now this is new. Okay, this is new. But I have a facial plan this afternoon. And it's like the nice one. Granted, it is because I have a big podcast opportunity. I'm actually speaking at Jasmine Starr's mastermind and getting to be on her podcast next week. And so I need a great facial, right? Because we're going to be up close and personal on that podcast with that video camera. And so, yes, I'm doing that. And that was the time that it worked best. But also, I'm like, this is my new hack. I'm going to have something like an appointment, like an actual deadline to end batch day that's like a self-care. Like, hey, proud of you for showing up and going hard. all day long. That is the reward.
I just wanted to take one quick second and remind you that you are invited to the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So it's 5 days and you learn the 5 most important things for you to be able to actually win with your ads in your business. Day 1, messaging what you say. Day 2, setting where you say it. Day 3, targeting who you're getting your ads in front of. Day 4, testing how you improve your ads. And day 5, scaling and profiting, which is ultimately what you really want, right? So click the link below this video for you to join the Win with Paid Ads Challenge, and make sure you get your platinum ticket, because I'll be able to look at your business and give you personalized feedback. Click the link below. Let's get back to the video.
And that's actually something I'm doing with our challenges or any of our live events we're doing, is our team, we actually take off the Friday after the push so that we always have a day to be like, hey, let's just recover then. Because one thing I'm doing in 2026 that I did not do as well in 2025 is scheduling recovery, like a day to actually not work, because actually it does make you more productive when you actually rest. And so I'm doing the same thing for me, and I want the team to do the same. So next thing, different content, different brain. So podcast content is teaching, it's testimonial interviews with my clients, it's business encouragement, it's like teacher brain. VSLs and ads are more structure, and that's like my conversion brain. So it's like I have teacher brain for podcasts, and then I have to turn on conversion brain for VSLs. And then for organic content, I have to turn on my connection brain. I'm like conversational, human, present, funny. So it's actually 3 different types of brains you're kind of turning on and off, which is why if we are going to do different types of content like we are today, I like to start with my teacher content, because I'm like, we have to get those episodes out. And then after that, then I am like, okay, now let's focus on the organic and the ads and the other things. The other thing, I know I said I'd mention it, so this is it. Scripts. There are some people that totally disagree with me, and they're like, no, you need to script every word, be so intentional. That is just not how I roll. And in my opinion, preparation does not mean scripting. I actually think going off script, when you're really good at something, you get the best content out of that anyway. And especially when you actually teach yourself to go off script and teach yourself to just be on the fly, it actually forces a level of creativity that's very fulfilling. And so what I do is I have this Google document, and if you're familiar, Google Documents have tabs. So like I have one tab right now that says podcast, and under that it has the 5 episodes we're doing today. I have another content that says organic, and it has a list of the hooks we're going to start with. I have another one that has VSL. So I'm doing a video sales letter this afternoon, and then I have one that says ads. So I have a list of all the different things already ready and ready to rock and roll, and they all have bullets. The only thing that's a script is that VSL. That's the only one that is like no verbatim. I'm going to look at the teleprompter and I'm going to say that. And everything else is completely outlined, but it is not scripted. And there's such a difference. And what I found with ads, you can totally tell when someone's reading from a teleprompter with an ad. And I'm not saying that it can't convert. I'm just saying you're guaranteed to lose a touch of connection, because your brain is actually doing something else. It is not looking at the screen. It's not envisioning another human on the other side of it. It's reading words from a screen. And there's just this subtle bit of lack of connection that can come across that you can miss. And it's hard to put a finger on it. Like some people would fight me and disagree with that. But I truly believe you can make I have some of the best, my clients, their funnels, millions of dollars on funnels from reading on a teleprompter screen. I'm not anti-teleprompter. I'm going to use it. It's just for ads, I've found a little bit more on the fly and just being prepared and getting it like a part of you. It's why actors don't film movies with the script in front of them. Like they actually teach themselves how to memorize. They study the script, and then after they study the script, then they go into character, because it has to become so automatic. And so that's why I really don't like using scripts personally. Next thing that really helps with batch day, freaking team support. I do not batch alone. That is for sure. There are 2 humans in this room, sometimes 3 when we record these batch days. We have our videographer, Noah. Noah and Robert are on the same team. And then we have Ashlyn for social media. We typically have Meredith here. So it is a teamwork makes the dream work. And sometimes my mom's here in the morning getting the room turned up and everything ready. So it is absolutely a teamwork makes the dream work situation, because support is what supports the creative freedom that I have today to be able to just focus on this content and you and what I wanted you to hear and feel today. And so any decision and anything else that I can get off my brain today is the ultimate goal. And so just having family support and team support on batch days so that you are taken care of is the goal. And remember, you don't always have to have 5 people to do this thing. It started with me, then it started with me and Robert, then it started with me and Robert and Meredith, and then it became me, Robert, Meredith, and Mom. And it grew over time. It doesn't have to start like this. But here's where we've evolved to, and I know that that's possible for you too. All right, next. Here's why batching gives me better energy. So it is the emotional payoff. Before this system, I was so overwhelmed. I was thinking about everything at once, the content, the meetings, the emails, the decisions, the script, the video, the teleprompter, and it was so much, and that's why I was crying. And so now I have fewer decisions, clear structure, full presence, a calmer nervous system, and when my brain feels safe, my creativity gets to show up. And so that is why it has all been about protecting the energy. And so the next thing is staying a month ahead. So I think I told you, we try to stay about a month ahead on episodes. Sometimes we get 2 months ahead, but being ahead changes everything because there's a little bit less pressure on the episode. Because you're not like, no, if I don't get this perfect, like it's supposed to go out tomorrow. Like I actually feel a little bit of weight lifted when I know that we're planning ahead, and that allows us to actually always tease the next episode. I really love being able to have one story lead to the next story, lead to the next story. And so if you don't plan ahead, you just end the episode and you're like, cool, well, we'll talk about something on the next one. Click the next video. And I just feel like actually telling the story and leading people in creates open loops, increases watch time, increases connection, and all those things. So being a step ahead allows us to actually be ahead in our content too. There's less scrambling, reactive content, and just more strategic messaging and like space to have margin. And I think margin is such a great demonstration of leadership. It's like it creates leadership, or it requires leadership to create margin. All right, so this is the last thing I wanted to share with you is having content buckets actually keeps these podcast episodes simple. So I have buckets. I have client testimonials where I prefer that the clients come in person and we coordinate that. I have teaching where I'm actually trying to say, here's a thing I want to teach. I have business encouragement, and then I have just like behind the scenes and other life things. So teaching, testimonial, business encouragement, and life, parenthood, relationship things. So that is the goal from the podcast. So it helps because I try to have one of those each time. But what I have found is batching testimonials is actually easier. So what we've done is we'll have like all of our clients, we'll open up like 5 spots for interviews for clients. And we'll just have one day where it's just clients back to back to back, or guest episodes. And I believe, unless I'm misremembering, I believe 100% of our episodes that is any guest, they are a client. And that's something I've stood firm on, is it's someone that either I work with or that they work with me. Client relationship. I don't know if I'll ever change that. Who knows? All right. So I'm loving it like this. And okay. So last thing is, here's what happens. So after the batch day, Ashlyn edits the ads or the organic, unless Robert and Noah and their team are actually editing a produced ad, because there's like cell phone ads, there's like produced ads. So they edit the episodes, and then our team internally distributes it to YouTube. We cut it for shorts, we cut it for Instagram reels, but they do all the editing, and then we do a podcast every week. My goal was to do, like, I've really wanted to do 2 podcasts a week for a while. I don't know if we're going to get there, but I think it's a great goal. I just have to ask myself, like, do I want to do 2 a week? And so I don't think I've wanted to bad enough. And I'm like, I love this like cadence of something that I feel like I can keep to. And so that's what I want to encourage you with. You may feel like you can do a batch day once a month or once a quarter. Stick to the thing that you know that you can do that gets you excited to do it. And so for us, doing 1 or 2 days a month allows us to have 1 episode per week without skipping a week and get ahead. And that feels really good. So that's my goal. We put it on Shorts, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and like 1 recording just fuels the whole ecosystem. Ultimately, we'll be able to take this to Spotify ads, YouTube, and more. So that's my goal for you, is batching content saves energy and also saves your joy and allows you to love the thing that you're doing, because you never want to do a thing just to do it. You want to do it because you love it, because when you love it, other people will too, because you can't transfer what you don't have, but you do transfer what you do have. And when you have that joy and love and passion for it, it's something that just can't be forged or faked, in my opinion. So reduce your decisions, protect your energy, and let your voice and confidence and what you're meant to bring to the world come out so beautifully. And that's what can happen when you make a beautiful batch day. So I hope that was very helpful for you. And so I'm really excited to chat with you, kind of taking a different direction on the next episode. We're talking about refunds and people who cancel. So that's going to be a really fun, interesting conversation, but it could actually lead to a transformation in you and your business when you think about how you approach those things, because it happens in every business. And I think we got to talk about it. So I can't wait to talk about that on the next episode. But if you haven't, don't forget, click the link below, register for the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. I would love to get to see you live and to coach you and to give my perspective and strategy on your business. And you'll also get to learn from other 6, 7, and 8 figure entrepreneurs while you're in the room. So click the link below and get your ticket. Otherwise, go advertise your name, make it rain, and I'll see you on the next video.